On everyone, it's Chris from 416 Coffee, and today I'm here with Sam, and it's Miele, right?
Yes, yeah. Well, Miele.
Miele.
It's Italian.
I know.
Yeah.
We gotta get the pronunciation right.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's Sam. How old? Tell everyone how old you are to start this off.
So I'm 17, turning 18 in October, so almost of age.
And Sam is a total hustler, so I wanted to have him on the show just to talk about. I feel like there's a lot of young boys that are kind of lost, especially with COVID. No one wants to go to school. Like, what are we doing? What's next? And so I wanted to have you on the show just to tell people your story, how you found your way into what you're doing now, and kind of give people some guidance and some inspiration. So if you can take us back to like the genesis of all this, take us back, man.
Yeah. So I guess everybody has their own passion, their own interests and stuff that they like doing. For me, it was videos. I absolutely love videos. I wanted to be a YouTuber. I would watch Casey Neistat when I was younger. Love the guy. Awesome. And I loved his vlog style too. So I was like, well, I want to live like that. I think that's really cool. I love videos and I love being on camera. I'm a very personable person. I love communicating with people. So I started recording myself with my iPhone 5 at the time that I got from a family friend. And that was back in grade 9 in high school. Well, actually, like grade 8, grade 9, I was recording myself playing video games with my buddies, just making vlog content with my iPhone 5, just walking around, filming myself, mowing the lawn, like going to Freshie and all this kind of stuff. It's all on my YouTube. And you know what? It was great, but I was really exhausted doing it, and I felt like I was forcing myself to do something that I didn't really want to do. And at the time, like back in grade 9, I was made fun of like absolutely ridiculously for it. I didn't even hit puberty yet. My voice was so high pitched, kind of still is, but I was made fun of it for it, but I kind of still kept doing it just because I enjoyed it. And ever since I started doing Fortnite videos for my buddies, I created an Instagram account called Super Edits. And
Super Edits.
Yep. Yeah, I know.
That's awesome.
You know what? I think it was pretty catchy too. But then I started reaching out to people on Instagram, like these Fortnite video game players, and just kind of messaging them on Instagram. These guys were from all over the world. I mean, from Texas, from Niagara, from right here local, all over the States, everything. So I was kind of just like, listen, I want to make you a Fortnite video, because I was looking at some of their clips that they were posting, and they were live streaming and stuff, right? So that's still huge nowadays. So I was messaging them, and I was just like, hey, I want to take some of your best clips, and I'll film something for you, or edit something for you that's really cool for free. And of course they would say yes. Like, who wouldn't? And so I started doing that. I swear I did that for about 4 months before I got my first paying client. And you know what it was? A 1-minute video from an ex-military guy who just played Fortnite for fun. And I edited his one stream. It was like a 10-minute long video. And he paid me $20 for it.
That was it.
Yeah.
That was the first client.
And I was ecstatic. I was absolutely bouncing off the walls. I told my mom, I told my friends, I was like, oh my God, I just got my first paying client, $20. Right?
That's it, man. You start somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. And it kind of just went on from there. I was then I started messaging more people, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm good enough now to where I can start charging people. So I was like, okay, so maybe $20 here, $20 there. So I actually never went over that. So for a 1-minute video, then I said, for a 1-minute video, I charged $20. And at the time in grade 9 and 10, I thought, oh my God, that's a lot of money. I was telling my friends, like, I make $20 a minute. I was like, I didn't understand it, and I wanted to sound cool, because I was being ridiculed. I was being made fun of for it all the time. I mean, I had friends and stuff, but it was like, this kid edits Fortnite videos. He doesn't have a job. Man,
how did you deal with that? Like, getting made fun of in grade 9. I mean, a lot of people, especially in high school, man, you think everything's like the end of the world, right? Yeah. You're like a young man. People are making fun of you. Maybe like, I'm sure girls didn't think it was super cool, right? Like, I'm sure you weren't like, hey, there's this cute girl I want to talk to, and you're like, yeah, I did Fortnite videos. I make $20 a minute though. Like, so how did you deal with that? Like,
yeah, so it was, I coming from a private school, I didn't really have many friends. There was only about 15 of us in the class, and I was friends with them for a little bit, and they knew me from private school, but then they all kind of drifted away from me because I wasn't fitting in with the crowd. So there was this this squad, I guess, of people in grade 9. And of course, there's always groups in high school, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
100%.
you can remember that, right? So I was never part of that group, but I always wanted to be. And I always wanted to make new friends and stuff. But you know what? I didn't, it's so easy to say and it's so cliche, but I just didn't let it affect me. Because I was like, you know what? I was like, the drive that I had to succeed was greater than my own personal feeling of self-doubt or anything like that. Like, I just knew I was going to succeed, right? Like, that was just my mindset. I knew there was nothing that was going to stop me from doing what I wanted to do and making a lot of money doing it. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to work my ass off. Screw these people. You know, I'll still talk to them and stuff just because I need friends.
I got
friends, right? Like, I need to talk to people. And I was just like, I'm going to work my ass off. So from grade 9 to grade 10, and then to grade 11, I was constantly working and developing my communication skills, my networking skills, building my personal brand, and honestly, just overall getting better at communicating with people in general. And it was never people my age. And I think that was a big thing for me. I knew that I was more mature than the grade 9s that I was in high school with.
Yeah.
Like, it just... something about it, it was like, you know, they were busy chasing a girl or something like that. Or, you know, they were like, oh, I don't really want to work, or I don't really have a job. I don't really want to get one or anything like that. And I was always the opposite. I was like, I want to work. I was hired. I'm not going to exploit this guy, but I was hired illegally at my first restaurant at 14 years old. And I wasn't allowed to be paid that amount. And it was like, you know, I just wanted to hustle. I wanted to make money, and my drive to succeed was greater than anything that anybody could say to me. So I knew that in 4 years, these guys would be laughing. These guys would be looking back and saying, wow, you know what? Maybe he did work his ass off and it paid off.
Well, bro, good for you. Cause
Thank you.
I mean, that's a tough age to be on that. Like, I remember I didn't really start I mean, I was kind of always hustling little things. Me and my buddy though started like a random t-shirt business when I was like 17, 18 as well. So I remember, like hustling stuff and like, it was tough, right? If someone was like kind of talking shit about what you're doing. We didn't deal with that too much with the t-shirt thing, but like I can remember being that age and like everyone's opinion mattered, and then you kind of you get over it. But it's good. I feel like if you understood that at 14 that it didn't fucking matter, then you're way ahead of the game. So what do you think made you that type of person? Like when you were younger, like what experiences did you have? Was it your dad? Was it your mom? Like what experiences did you have that made you this kind of guy?
Yeah, so, you know, I think, and I always talk about this with my parents, I think it's probably about 70%, or no, maybe like 60% your parents, and how you look at them and how they work, and their work ethic and how they treat you. Do they treat you with respect? Do they support everything you're doing? And then I'd say about 40% is your own mindset as you grow older. You know, when you're 5, 6, 7 years old, you always look up to your parents. But then when you're 10, 11, 12, you start thinking for yourself, and then that kind of just evolves into, you know what, I'm going to do what I want to do. But I think that my mindset was because of my dad and my mom. I mean, my mom stay at home. My dad is, he's a financial planner at IG. And I mean, back when they were building the house, he would work his ass off, like never be home. And obviously that caused some problems within their relationship because he's working his tail off just to pay for the house that they're building. And my mom is with me and my sister at such a young age. I mean, it was, I think, and I've always had a lot of respect for them for that. And I think, seeing my dad working so hard just to be where he is today kind of helped me pursue what I want to do. And, he was ridiculed at a young age too. And I mean, humility is a huge thing, right? And I think my mom and my dad always taught me that. My dad has fantastic speaking skills, and my mom is literally all about this kind of stuff. Videography, photography, everything. She went to film school. I can always talk to them. It's like you go to your parents for separate things, right?
Yeah,
it's like,
100%.
You know what I mean? It's like with my dad, I can't be all like heartfelt, emotional, but when it comes to business, it's that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But with mom, it's more like, I kind of feel like this. I kind of feel like that.
Very true.
Yeah, exactly. So definitely, I would have to answer that question from my parents. Like that is what evolved my mindset in just wanting to succeed. And I've always had big goals and big aspirations. My dad does as well, but I beg to differ, but maybe mine are a little bigger. But
yeah, exactly.
But you know, I think that's what it always comes down to. And hearing his stories with his dad, you know, he was an alcoholic, but he came, you know, with Nona, they came on boats back in Italy. You know what, like 80 years ago, 60 or 70 years ago or something.
Yeah, probably,
yeah,
60,
and
70 years
yeah,
ago,
exactly.
yeah.
And you know, just working on the vineyards like every single day. And he, you know, my dad saw that from him, and I think I saw that from my dad, and that has what's given me, I think, the huge dreams and aspirations that I really have. You know, but yeah, I have to give full credit to my parents, 100%.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, no, I just wanted to ask because I think a lot of people wonder like how people become like this, and there's always different stories. So, but I know parents are a huge part of it. Like my dad's been an entrepreneur his whole life, and that definitely had an effect on me, obviously. So, okay, so sweet. So here we are. You're in high school. You're making some Fortnite videos. You're making $20 a minute. So what's next? How does that, because I mean, high school, you're still in high school right now, right?
Yeah.
So how do you get from grade 9, $20 a minute Fortnite videos to where we are now, where you're doing some more complex stuff?
That could be like an hour answer, but I would say to summarize it, you know, just looking at programs, I always had, like you said, probably the similar mindset is just an entrepreneurial spirit. I always wanted to do something with my life and be my own boss. I worked at McDonald's for a year. You know, I'd always been an entrepreneur. I worked at McDonald's. I absolutely hated it. You know what? I think I was pretty good at it too, because I would always try to upsell at the window and stuff through the drive-thru. But, you know, I think when it comes down to it, I was doing Fortnite videos. And then come maybe a year after that, I made about $1,200 on Instagram in total in that year. And to me, that was like crazy. That was back in grade 9. And then grade 10 is when...
What'd you do with the money? Do you remember?
Saved it.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
See,
there
you go.
I save about 90 to 95% of whatever I make.
Man's very responsible here.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, I want to buy a house and stuff, so you gotta save for that, right? But yeah, I mean, you know, it's just... did Fortnite videos and then went and applied for a summer company program that my teacher said I should apply for. So I did, and I got accepted. It's called Summer Company. It's in our local area, and that was a grant for $3,000 in the summer. And I got accepted, but thanks to COVID, never got it. And so to me, it was like, you know, I don't know what else to do. So they directed me to a St. Catharines Enterprise Business Center. And I applied for that program. That was another grant. Can't remember how much though, but, and I was declined from there. And this is back when I wanted to start some sort of marketing business, some sort of like do social media or make videos or something. I was just trying to find my niche, right? So then I go to, this program called Basecamp. It's like the DMZ with the Ryerson University, their tech incubator or whatever. And they accepted me. Actually, I think I was accidentally accepted. I was accepted, and then a week later I got an email saying that I had been declined. So I wasn't sure, and then I kind of fought for my spot in there because I was like, well, I want the chance to win grant money at the end of this, which was the $5,000 I was telling you before. You know, so I was like, okay, I got to get in this. So that is when that kind of fueled me to start my marketing business. Anything before that, so between Fortnite and my marketing business, it was, you know, working at McDonald's, Sport Check. I worked at Unitapita, sold things on the side, did small jobs, mowing the lawn, you know.
Whatever. Yeah.
Whatever pays the bills. Well, I was grade 10, grade 11.
We're paying too many bills, but yeah, I feel you. I got you.
The phone bill killed me.
That's it, for real.
But yeah, no. So I did the marketing business, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to get some sort of funding for this, but even if I don't, I'm still gonna do it. So I was like, you know what? I'll film with my iPhone. I'll reach out to businesses. Maybe I'll offer some website development. I didn't know jack shit about designing a website. Yep. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
I did that shit too. Yep. I feel you.
Amazing. Yeah, see? And it's like you just learn from experience. And so I got this message. Well, let's talk about the grant money. So I never ended up getting that grant money, but the Basecamp program was actually amazing for me. We got to do a meeting with Arlene Dickinson from Dragon's Den, I think. Dragon's Den? Yeah, Dragon's Den. And that was awesome. It provided me with great opportunity, and I started going to their office space that they have here in Niagara, which was awesome. I mean, I started working out of there, and it just motivated me because I was around a lot of other entrepreneurs. Now, granted, there was not another 17-year-old in that office. They were all like 30, 35, 40, trying to build a business for themselves. And I'm coming in with my bag, my computer, just kind of sitting, you know, technically I was supposed to rent out an office space, but I'm kind of just hiding in the corner by the kitchen. Like,
yeah, that's it, man.
Yeah. So, you know, whatever I could do in order to always keep improving. That was my biggest thing was, you know, I come out of this, I didn't win the grant money come summer of 2020. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to try to pursue this. So then COVID hit, and it was a couple months later. I had been trying to grind out some stuff, figuring out some stuff, designing logo, my website, all that kind of stuff just to get started. And then this company messaged me, well, not a company, but a small business in Niagara on the lake, Holly's Fashion. Great guy. Peter was his name. He's an amazing guy. Absolutely love working for him. I still work with him to this day, but I designed his website. And at the time, I swear I did not really even know what I was doing.
What did you build it with?
So I built it with Shopify.
Nice. Yeah. Okay.
So because he wanted to use Shopify, and I was like, okay, I think I could do this. Because actually, rewind about 3 years before that, I had tried starting some sort of online shop like drop shipping. So
I did that too.
Yep.
Holy shit, Sam.
Almost blows all your money, man. It's like I saw this, you know those courses that you get that you see on YouTube?
Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it.
No,
you're like, yo, I can make fucking $5,000 a day. Like, what am I doing over here?
I know.
Sit at home, fill some orders from I sold women's jewelry.
You're kidding me.
Bro, I had a women's jewelry hustle in like 2017. But back then, honestly, Facebook ads and stuff were still priced. Like, I did pretty well.
Yeah.
But it was, and then it just got like your CAC just got way too high, and it just, the numbers started not to work. It wasn't even
saturated then, eh? It was
easier then, yeah.
It was easier then. And, you know, starting it in 2017, 2018? I can't remember. It was like back in grade 9 or 10. This was kind of on the side. But, you know, that actually helped me kind of develop my skills on website development. And I was like, you know what? It's a learning lesson because it ended up not working out at all. I blew like $150. And to me at the time, that was actually a lot of money.
Yeah, 100%.
So, you know, it was like, well, I blew some money. And my mom was like, well, you learned. That's always my mom. She always says, well, you learned a lesson. And that kind of just reflected on me. And I think that's been my mindset ever since, you know, I've been working. Like, you know, if something goes to shit, I learned something. Right?
Bro, that's the best. That's the best mindset to have. Honestly, that's a lot of things like business. There's like the technical things. There's like how to build a website. There's Facebook ads. Just all these little technical how to game an Instagram algorithm, whatever. Right. But I think like under the fundamental concepts for business, it comes down to mindset, right? Like your mindset's everything, especially like having a growth mindset, which is what you're talking about, where even when something goes to shit or you fuck something up entirely, it's a learning experience and you move on. 100%. You're like, hey, look what I learned from this. I mean, that's as long as it doesn't put you out. Plus, especially at your age, you can just be so risky. It doesn't even matter, right? Because you could fuck up till you're 25 and wake up, have a good idea and still be in the Bentley by 30.
Exactly.
Like you're good. You know what I mean?
Yep. And that was my mindset. Even to this day, it's still my mindset. You know, I ran Miele Media. That was my marketing business for about a year and 1 month or 2 months. And then this girl approached me recently, actually, that she works at Royal LePage, and she saw I was doing some real estate stuff. And she's a social media person there at Royal LePage in the office. And we were talking, and she was like, yeah, why don't we start a business? So I was like, you know what? You have the connections and you got the work ethic. You got the creative side. And you know, I don't want to do social media anymore. I want to do videos and photos and stuff, and lifestyle videos and all that. So she approached me and I was like, you know what? I have nothing to lose. If this goes to shit, so what? Like I trusted her and we've started this business together. It's going really well. But you know, I was like, I have nothing to lose. And I think that's what so many people I've noticed at my age think is like, I have something to lose. Like what do you have? Like you have nothing tied to you. Nothing.
No. You don't have a kid.
Exactly.
You don't have a wife or husband.
Exactly.
You know, you don't have any, you got nothing. Yeah. It's like, if this goes to shit, who cares?
You have no bills to pay. Like you said, well, now I have expenses to pay, but you know, when you're just starting out, what are you paying?
No, if you still live at home, you're fucking,
it's ridiculous.
You're laughing.
Kids in my high school, kids don't even pay their own phone bill, 90% of them. It's like, okay, so what do you have to lose? Like you're spending money on nothing. And now granted, they spend money on nothing, but they make no money because they have no interest in getting a job anywhere. They think education is going to just save their ass.
Which it's not. I mean, that's been, I mean, if COVID taught you anything, it's
we could talk about that for.
Yeah, that's a whole other podcast. But no,
Yeah.
it's no, I agree. It's you have, especially at your age, there's no downside to trying something. Especially if you're interested in it, like why not? And but people do have that fear. People have fear of failure for other reasons, right? Like that someone's gonna judge them or talk shit about them because they didn't succeed in a venture or whatever. But I mean, I don't know. I've always operated under the guise of like, it's better to try, right?
Yeah.
It's better to try, go for it, and then if it doesn't work, like, you know, you dust yourself off and you go try something else. That's all.
Yep. I get a lot of people message me, like that are my age, just even at my school, and they're like, you know, I have this business idea, because frankly, a lot of people know that what I'm doing now, you know, I was made fun of for it in grade 9, but now they know what I'm doing.
That's what happens.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Grade 12, now I'm doing pretty well for myself, and people see that, and they see what I'm doing on social media and all that kind of stuff. So they're keeping up with it. And so I'll get messages like, oh, I have this business idea, you know, I want to start detailing, or I want to start 3D printing or something like that. And it's like, I don't know if I want to pursue it. And I said, well, what do you have to lose? Like, why wouldn't you? And they're like, I don't know. Maybe I might. Failure. That's the problem.
You're scared. Yeah.
Scared to fail because they've never failed before. And you know what? I blame the education system for that.
You're not
Now,
wrong.
if you're
You're
stupid,
not wrong.
yeah, if you're stupid and you fail a class, then maybe you know what failure is like. I mean, I failed 2 math classes. Like, I was no saint myself in school. I thought it was the most, frankly, useless thing I had ever done. But you know, I knew I had to get through it. I knew I need my credits and stuff like that in order to, you know, get a job someday somewhere, you know. But it was, it's just like I laugh because I'm thinking, you don't even know what failure is, and yet you're scared to do it. Why? Because you've never failed. You've never, if you don't seek discomfort and fail, you'll never get anywhere.
Yeah, or it's going to find you.
Yeah.
Right? Those things will find you, especially
100%.
when you wake up at like 40 and you're like, what the fuck have I done with my entire life? Like, that's the biggest thing. It's like regret is terrifying to me. Yep. Regret is absolutely terrifying. I'd rather go out and like at least try, and then if I fail, I fail. Or in any aspect of my life. Like, let's go push for something. If it doesn't come through, it doesn't come through. But yeah, to have regret, to look back and be like, well, what could have been? Because you played it safe the whole time.
Yep.
So
100%.
Man, to anybody, to a kid who's like your age starting a business, like what's your advice? Do you have any? Give me like 3. Give me top 3.
It's tough to all sum it up, but I would probably say, don't be afraid to fail. That's one thing. Definitely don't give a shit what people say. That's another thing. And what is another good one? That's not cliche. I'm trying to think of something that's not super cliche. I would say, seek discomfort. That's actually that's actually my third one. And I think that's the biggest one. I don't know if you know a YouTube channel called Yes Theory, but their whole motto is seek discomfort. So, I mean, they do crazy stuff, but
Yes, Yes Theory?
Yes Theory. Yeah.
Okay.
You got to see it on
I'll
YouTube.
check it out.
They're huge YouTubers. But yeah, no, they've tagline seek discomfort. They have it on all their merch and everything. And you know, it's like, what's a good one? You know, I'm in my entrepreneurship class, and I can't blame the teacher. I can blame the curriculum, because I'm sitting there thinking, you're showing us a movie or you're making us write a paper. How does this help me with communicating with businesses and get myself clients if I start a business one day, right? Because whether I start a service business or a product business like you have to learn customer service and how to communicate with people. And they don't teach that. There's the shyest kids in that class, I swear. And they won't even talk to anybody. Nobody. They sit on their phone all class and they do nothing. And I'm thinking, why wouldn't you make them seek discomfort? Because right now they're very comfortable. I'm comfortable in this chair, right? They're comfortable sitting in the chair, doing their little paperwork and thinking that's life. It's not. I would make them pick up a phone and cold call real estate agents or business owners with a fake business and just offer your services and say, hi, I would like to charge $500 for social media marketing for the first month, and then I'll offer you a 30-day free trial for that first month, and I'll give you a full refund afterwards. People are scared to do that. I'm even scared, but I'll still do it because I know that I will never improve if I don't go and just do it.
You just got to do it. Yeah, you got to put yourself out there.
My entrepreneurship class, if I ran that and the curriculum was open, I would get a kick out of it. I'm sure you would too. Like, just experiences and stuff you've learned translating into teaching other people. Like I would love to just train people to cold call or to how to write an email or, just how to sell yourself, right? A lot of my business is selling myself and my services. For you, maybe it's more your coffee, right? And your products that you sell. But either way, you have to know how to promote things.
Yeah, 100%. At the beginning, we just did B2B. So I would just bang on doors and go try to sell coffee to places that deal with copious amounts of rejection, right? Like that was it. It was just rejection was a normal thing 24/7. Yep. So yeah, no, I totally agree with being able to talk to people. I mean, there's this idea of this laptop entrepreneur now, someone who just exists on a laptop and makes a shit ton of money. And I honestly think for 99% of the population, that's probably not attainable. Like you're probably going to have to sell to, like you said, other businesses or people. And even if you are that guy, like everyone now has like a face of a brand, like you're making content. Like the idea that you're just going to like post pictures on Instagram and sell like a couple $1 million worth of like whatever you're selling, it's not going to happen.
Exactly.
Like there's bullshit artists on YouTube selling you a $5,000 course that's going to tell you that that's possible, but it's probably not, at least not for 99% of the population. Is there some guy doing it out there? Oh, fuck, 100%. But most people, you're not going to be able to do that.
Yep. It's, and I almost fell into that whole course thing. And I was, back when I was starting the Shopify, the drop shipping thing, I wanted to buy the course and all that kind of stuff. And then I kind of realized, why would I try to get help from somebody else when I can just learn myself? And, there's a line to that mindset, like take wisdom from your parents. I still try to take as much wisdom as I can from my father, my mother, and other people more experienced than me. But in terms of, really being taught a lesson, like, just go and do it. Like, okay, for example, my dad said, I just got a car, right? So he's like, you cannot get a speeding ticket. You cannot get a speeding ticket. It will screw you with insurance. It'll be, and I was like, yeah. And I didn't really understand, how bad it would be. And then I get a speeding ticket. And then I'm like, okay, I just learned. You know what? It sucks. I had to pay for it. It really does suck, but I learned my lesson. And I think, now that's a stupid example, but in everything you do, that is the biggest the biggest teacher in your life is experience, just doing something and then either failing at it or actually succeeding. Like either way, you have nothing to lose. You learn from failing and you learn from succeeding. Plus, you'll make a lot of money doing it.
No, exactly, man. All right, so we've talked a lot about the past, kind of how you've got here, but you're super young, so I want to hear about what's the future? What's the next 5 years look like? What's the next 10 years look like? What are you thinking?
Yeah, so, the entrepreneurial spirit will never die. That's for sure. But as I said before, my dad's a financial planner. And right now, I know things are subject to change. But come end of summer, which is about 4 months, I think.
Yeah, it's May, June, July, August. Yeah, like 4 or 5 months. Yeah.
So, come 4 months from now, end of August, I don't know where I'll be at. My plan is to do a co-op with my dad for about 4 months at Investors Group, and I think I'll learn a lot from there finance-wise. Either way, it'll be a good learning lesson, and I'll learn a lot. But we'll see where the business is in 4 months. That's what I've said before. Like I said, I have a partner, and we said if we're doing really well, then we can hire out. And I'd love to just manage the business while doing the co-op and while going to school. But my goal, after that co-op, after about 4 months up until January, then I'll be going to Mohawk College for financial services for about 16 months, and after that. Plan is to go to YG and work with my dad. And then eventually, as he slows down, I pick up the pace and it goes from there. But, I feel like to me, there's a lot more than that. Like I have like my ultimate goal, I want to be prime minister. Like that's
for real.
Yeah. I'm dead serious.
Holy shit. You want to go into politics.
Yep. And
why?
Okay. So I've always felt like I'm a big public speaker. I did a lot of public speaking when I was younger. And I've always felt like there's been, especially now, we won't get into political views or anything, but
no.
I just...
No, we'll keep it off there. But yeah. No. Okay, tell me why you want to be prime minister. That's fascinating.
I just feel like there's a lot of things that I would want done and that I think that I see people want done. And I think the majority of people want certain things done a certain way and they need certain things. And I don't feel like those needs are being met. And frankly, I'm being I think a lot of people are pretty pissed off at the government right now, and in terms of like small businesses and stuff like that being shut down. And I
100%.
think you need somebody, you know, like me, to come from those roots of, you know, I was born into a well family. You know, I've always been well off for myself. Either way, no matter what I do, I can't change that, right? But what I can change is how other people live. And I think the best way I can do that is not by running a marketing business, not by being a financial planner, but by, you know, being in a position of power in which I can do things for people. Like that's always been my biggest thing. Is a lot of my friends would say, oh, you just want to be a billionaire and you just want to have a lot of money and be successful. And, you know, as much as that is my goal, I think that's a lot of people's goal, is just to be wealthy. Yeah. You know,
nothing wrong with that.
Nobody starts a business thinking, I just want to do this. I don't care about the money. No, they care about the money.
No, right? Yeah. No one wants to work their ass off to be broke. I wrote about this recently, actually, because it pisses me off.
No, it's, you know, a lot of people say, oh yeah, I want to do this, do that, do this, that. I don't really care about the money, but eventually you do. Right. And so I think, you know, a lot of people get corrupt in that way. And once they start making a lot of money, it's like their mindset just for some reason changes. And I've always been one to just go back to my roots. And I always want to see, you know what, you started from here. Don't ever forget that. This is what you are, and you can't do anything to change that. And you know what, you're going to use that and use your connections, use your networking skills, use your speaking ability to really ultimately, sounds cliche, but change the world. I mean, and I just don't think, for me personally, like a lot of people would say, you know, well, you can change the world. Like they get mad at me. Like I was talking to a girl the other day, and I was like, well, you know, I think the biggest thing you need to make change, you know, beneficial change, well, you know, good or bad change, is power and money. And unfortunately, that's how the world goes. I mean, that is just, that's the way it is. I mean, look at any politician or any high up guy up in the world right now. They either have a lot of money, they're famous, and they have a lot of power. Yeah,
you have influence, right? And power is amoral. Like have you ever read 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene?
No, but quick, fill me in.
I'd highly recommend, but pretty much one of the early premises of that book is that power is in itself amoral, right? We have this idea that, you know, we have a negative connotation with power, especially in the West. Like if you say like, oh, I want to be in a position of power, people think you want to be manipulative or destructive, right? But power can be good, right? If power is in the right hands, right? Like things are happening that are positive.
Exactly.
So that's what you're saying.
Yeah, and that's where I think, you know, that's what you're talking about there, is because a lot of people, just based on the past, is they think power is bad. And if you want to have a lot of power, you want to do bad with it, because the majority of people who have a lot of power do bad with it. Now, that's not to say that people with power and a lot of money don't do good things. They don't donate to charity or do any of that kind of stuff. I mean, you know, that's awesome. But a lot of people associate power with you know, bad intentions, right? And that's just not my goal. But you know, I back to, you know, what, 5 years from now, maybe 10 years from now, we'll see. I know that to be a politician, you need to have a lot of connections and you need to network really well. So when that means, you know, joining certain clubs and getting to know people in positions of power per se, then so be it. And I think that I can best utilize my skills as a financial planner to do that. I absolutely love helping people. I mean, I wouldn't do my job right now doing film and social media for real estate agents if I didn't like actually helping people, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I do that right now, and I get to use my skills, but I don't feel like it's utilizing them enough. That's where I'm at with it, right? So I feel like, you know, come a year from now, I feel like I won't be using my skills to the best of their ability, right? And I'm always one to just say, I always want to keep moving forward. Like, I'll start a marketing business, and then, you know, let's say I do that for 8 months. My revenue needs to increase every single month, or
100%.
else I'm getting worse.
If you're not growing, you're dying. That's
exactly.
That's it. No,
exactly.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah, and so, you know, it's not like I'm you know, I want money. Like that's not my goal. It's just if I feel like if I'm in a standstill, and I think that's what a lot of people, especially our age, like a younger age group, they kind of just sit still. It's like their life, they're just kind of going with the flow. And that's so pathetic. Like, I just think, like, why, like, you can go with the flow and enjoy, you know, certain things in life. But if you're just sitting still, not ever getting better at communicating or bettering your business or making people happy around you. If you're just in it for yourself and just standing still where you are, what are you doing?
Well, man, I'm empathetic to everyone's experience with COVID being different, but I mean, there's so much victimhood mentality, right? Where people just kind of throw up their hands and be like, "Woe is me," like pretty much saying like that they don't have control over their own life anymore. And this was before COVID, but now COVID's like the perfect excuse, right?
Yeah.
To throw it up.
Perfect. Yeah.
Perfect excuse. I don't have control. I can't do anything. And then you're in this position of powerlessness. You feel like you tell yourself like, oh, I'd be over here, but this happened and this happened, all these external circumstances. So I think like a lot of people, especially young people, like we all have to take responsibility for our own life. Like at the end of the day, that's one thing like entrepreneurship will teach you too, is like no one's fucking signing your check, right? No one's fucking paying you. So like you better figure it out. And if you don't get fucking paid, it's on you.
Yeah.
It's no one else's fault. I can't blame anyone if this business goes bust.
Exactly.
Right? I can't fucking, I also like, people rely on me. Like I have employees, I have a team. They rely on me to do my job so that they have money every month. So I think, people need to escape like the victimhood mentality of, woe is me, everything's happening to me. Like we all have control of our own lives. Like sometimes it feels like we have more control, sometimes it feels like we have less control, but at the end of the day, like it's all on us.
Yeah. It's and I think that victim mentality consumes so many people, whether they're 80 years old, 40 years old, or 17 years old. Right. It's so sad to see, because I feel like there's so many people out there that just have a lot of potential and they just waste it because they feel bad for themselves. And it's just like, come on, like, you can really get yourself out of this position. And people are like, they see a lot of basketball players, coming from like really, really hard beginnings, just playing on the street with their buddies, and you think, oh, he's just an anomaly. No, he worked his ass off to get out of the position that he's in, right? Out of that poor position, and he never had that victim mentality.
No,
exactly,
100%.
And that's where people get it wrong. They think, oh, well, he's just an anomaly. Oh, you're just talking about one billionaire, or no. You can be that. You have control of your own life, and when people just are consumed, even with the littlest ounce of I'm subject to whatever circumstances I've been given, then you're
done. Yeah. You're done. You have to, you have to understand that you can control your own life. I don't know if you watch UFC at all, but Francis Ngannou is the heavyweight champion now. He's from the Republic of Congo. His story is ridiculous. Like the guy trained in a parking garage in Paris and dug through garbage cans. Now he's the heavyweight champion of the world. He was imprisoned in Paris because he illegally got there from Spain, and he tried to cross like this part of the ocean by boat. He got caught like 7 times. Like it's insanity. This guy's the heavyweight champion of the world, right? So it's like everyone has, like, we're all capable of that, right? It's like we have a fear that our fear isn't that we're inadequate, it's that we can really do anything, right?
Yep.
And I forget who it was, but they talked about, like, if they died, they saw, like, where they could be and, like, where they were. I forget who said this. But, yeah, it'd be the most terrifying thing of, like, living this very, like, mediocre life where you just kind of, like, go through the motions for 80 years or whatever. And then if you died and they're like, oh, yeah, you could have been, like, LeBron James or, like, you know what I mean? You could have been, like, whoever, Wayne Gretzky, whatever, insert great athlete, entrepreneur, actor, like, whoever you aspire to be. But we're all capable of that. Like, there's nothing stopping anyone from achieving whatever they want, especially not in Canada, man. Like, we have no excuses here.
It's yeah, and I think that's what actually kind of ticks me off is when I hear this victim mentality. A lot of stories are sad. Like, you've gone through something, and I have empathy for you on that, but don't let that consume your entire life. And if it's somebody who passed away, or they wouldn't want that for you. They wouldn't want you to be consumed by that thought and then just have a victim mentality on it. Like, you are the subject of your own decisions. So whatever you do, especially at this young age, affects who you are at 40, right? So if I have a victim mentality now, I'm going to be sitting on my couch eating potato chips at 40 years old. That's just it. Unless, I change my mindset, some way along the way. But in terms of a mindset, and I don't know if you've read Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Absolutely amazing book. I think every entrepreneur, or actually every person needs to read that book. And, you know, when I read that book, it was such a mindset shift for me, because, you know, I might act all tough when I said like, oh, it didn't really bother me, you know, back in grade 9 when I was made fun of and stuff like that, but it certainly did. And that's when I started reading Think and Grow Rich, and they started, you know, just Napoleon Hill really did a good job at showing you what mindset to have and what value you can bring to people's lives and what value you are in their lives, right? And it's just like, when I read that book, my whole mindset changed, and that's when I would probably say that was a turning point in my life in terms of how I acted, how I thought, all that kind of stuff. Because I think, you know, you could be limbless, but if you have the mindset that you're going to do something and you genuinely believe that that's going to happen, it'll happen. You know, it's what another thing that ticks me off, we could go on this forever, but real quick is people talk about, like, especially at my age, manifest. Oh, I'm going to manifest that. I'm going to manifest this. Or, oh, I'm going to tell myself I'm going to get this. It makes me so mad. It's like, you really have no idea what you're talking about. And they think, oh, if I just think that I could get this, then I can get it. You know, it'll happen to me. No, that's bullshit.
You got to go do something.
Yeah. You know, it's
I know.
It's when I read Think and Grow Rich, they talked about manifestation and making yourself believe something so true that it would actually happen. And they said that the only way you can do that is by, they didn't say this, but almost faking it till you make it, in the sense that every single night, to this day, almost every single night, I will drive down to this creek by my house. I will pull up my notes on my phone, and it'll be my future success. And you know what it is? It's Samuel Miele, will have 8 real estate agents by August 31st of 2021. I will have blank saved by December 31st of 2021. I will do this by blank, 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 and using blank, 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 blank. I, Samuel Miele, will not let my mind extinguish this desire to pursue my goal. And then, you know, I'm a Christian, so I finished off with, and, you know, with the power of God, may this be within reach. Amen. That's and that is coming to be. And you know when I started saying that? When I had one client and I almost lost her. That's when I started saying that. My videos were shit. I had no clients. I had like 2 clients. I was making like $1,000 a month doing, you know, like stuff here and there for people. It was never ongoing. And when I started saying that, I thought, how am I going to make this happen? I don't know how I'm going to get 8 real estate agents. I don't know. Like, I literally had no idea. I said it every single day, and I've been saying it every single day for like 4 months now. I genuinely believe that now, and I have 6 now. And I thought, oh my God, I 4 months ago, I didn't even know if this was going to happen. I didn't even know if I was going to hit my savings goal. And now I've calculated it, I will. And I'll hit my goal for clients as well. And I'm thinking, I'll do it before I even reach end of August. And you know what? That's powerful stuff when you genuinely believe something. But people just think, oh, you know, I really hope that I get this.
Yeah. No. No, yeah. I think the secret and kind of like all that, I think like, like having a positive mindset and like believing you're going to get things is great. But anyone who thinks they're going to sit on the couch and manifest $1 million or a new Ferrari or a better body, that's another one too. Like, there's been a lot of talk about manifesting like physical things, and I've been a gym rat my whole life, and it's just like, what?
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to manifest like having a 6-pack. It's like, how the fuck are you going to do that? Like, do you figure out how to do that? Like, let me know, because I'm going to start eating like shit and just manifest this sick body. Like, Jesus Christ. So, yeah, there's a lot of like misconception. Everyone's looking for the shortcut though, right?
Yeah,
that's why.
That's the biggest thing,
no one
right?
wants to do the work. Everyone wants to fucking look for the shortcut. And then no one realizes like there's a lot of issues. People lack self-respect, and they wonder where that comes from. And it's like, it comes from the shortcuts, guys. Like, if you fucking do the work, if you fucking work your ass off, and let's say even you want to get fit, let's use that one because that's very attainable for everybody. You want to get fit, so you start dieting, you work your ass off out in the gym, you do whatever you got to do, you get fit. All of a sudden, like, you respect yourself on a whole new level because you're like, I did this. And then you also have the confidence of being like, I could do this again. Yep. It's the same thing with business. Like, once you figure out how to make 6 figures a year in a business, you're like, okay, I can do this again. Then you make $500,000 a year. You're like, oh, okay, I could do this again. Like, I know how I got here. You know what I mean? When you do the work and you figure out all the systems, you figure out how to navigate things, then you have this confidence that like it's not this thing that's fleeting anymore.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's I think when you genuinely believe something, you start putting in the work to do it. Like you were like you're obviously very fit, right? But before, like, you know, you were probably like, your mindset was, I'm going to be that way. I see that, I want to be that. Bro, and then you start doing it. Because you genuinely believe you can do it.
I'll just tell you the craziest story about how I ended up getting fit. And I feel like if hopefully kids your age watch it, maybe they'll be able to relate. So it was like grade 10. I was like, I wasn't fat, but I wasn't fit at all. I was kind of like doughy. I had some little man boobs going on. And I remember there was this girl in my French class. Her name was Jordan. I won't say her last name because I'll fucking expose her. She sat beside me in French class. And I remember at lunchtime one day, she came, like, I think at the time I thought she was kind of cute. And she came into the cafeteria or whatever. And she was like, oh, like, are you new here? I was like, I fucking sit beside you in French. And she was like, oh, like, I forgot. Okay, yeah, no worries. That summer, I was like I looked up like one thing, like how the fuck do you get ripped? I'm like, okay. All I cared about was having six-pack abs. That's all I gave a shit about.
Really?
So I was like, okay, don't eat carbs was what I read. Don't take this as diet advice, anybody watching. It was don't eat carbs, though, and I can't even remember the other thing. I fucking ran. I fucking did crunches. We had like little weights in the basement. Yeah. Man, I was fucking working out like 24/7. I came back grade 11. I looked like a fucking new person. Like, I swear to God, I came back after that summer. Like, it was like, I probably started before the summer. So, like, let's call it 4 or 5 months. I came back. I fucking weighed 135 pounds. You could see I wasn't very big. Right, you could see like every muscle on my body. I was fucking ripped. Like, yeah. But it was just like, it was just like that pain of like me feeling like, man, this girl doesn't even know I sit beside her in French. That pain pushed me to take action. Exactly. And I think that's where there's a defining point in every single person's life. It's the first time that they really feel like they're not good enough to somebody or something. When they feel that, they have two choices. I'm going to be a victim to this mindset, or I'm going to suck it up, work my ass off, and show this fucker that I'm better than that. Yeah. And that's what you chose, right? And obviously it's paid off. But I mean, that's where people, I think, like they have two choices. It's two choices. It's when the first time, or even second, third, fourth, fifth time, but it gets easier once you do it. So the first time, like when you got ripped in the summer, right? The first time you were like, you had a choice. I'm going to be a victim to this, and I'm just going to feel sorry for myself, or I'm going to get ripped and show her that I do actually go to school, right? That's it. Exactly. And then every single other time after that, I'm sure you've had other times like that, whether it's in business or working out or something like that. Yeah. It's gotten easier for you not to be a victim, but to overcome it. To be an overcomer. Man, that's it becomes the default, right? Yep. It's like, oh, like this is some place I want to go to. Like at the time, like fucking getting ripped seemed extremely unattainable. Exactly. You know what I mean? Yep. So it's like, okay, I want to go over there, but now it's like I know what to do. I go on Google, I figure out what I need to do to go over there, and I go over there. And it's like, especially now, it's like no longer is knowledge the issue. You go on your phone, man, you can figure fucking anything out. So if you want to do something, YouTube, Google, and literally anything. Bro, you can learn anything pretty much for free as long as you have an internet connection and a fucking decent computer. Yep. So like, it's not like you don't have the tools or don't know how to get there. Like, you can get there, just fucking figure it. Come up with a little strategy and fucking go. Like, that's it. And that's where I was doing a presentation to an entrepreneurship class in my school, to a grade 11 class a couple of weeks ago. And one of the things I said was formulating an idea. Because so you had the idea you want to get ripped. I had the idea I want to do really well for myself, get rich, doing a marketing business. All right. And I formulated that idea like you did and figured out, okay, how is this going to happen? How am I going to go from point A to point B and everything in between, right? And that's where people, it's like back to the choices thing. I think there's two choices to everything you do, right? So when it comes down to, I have an idea, there's two choices. Once again, it's, whatever. I'm not really going to do it. I'm afraid of failure. Or, fuck it, I'm going to do it and see what happens and learn something. Either I fail or I succeed. That's it. Like, that is the biggest decision you can make, because it's like the first time you make that decision, whatever path you choose is
typically the path you're going to go down the rest of your life. And that's why I really try to push my friends and people I see in my school and people I know that are my age to choose the right path. And that sounds so cliche, but I think that's a good way of thinking about it is everybody has two choices when it comes down to decisions like that. It's whatever, or I'm going to pursue it. And that's where it pisses me off when people come to me and they're like, I'm thinking about doing this idea, but I don't really know. I don't think it'll be good. How do you know? You haven't even tried. You haven't even messaged a car detailer to figure out how much do you charge? How much can I charge? And where's that in between? What's my target audience? All this kind of stuff. You don't even know that shit. Like, just do it. Learn from it. I didn't know anything when I started my business. And you probably knew coffee, but you certainly had to go through the steps.
I didn't know shit.
You didn't know anything.
Shit.
There you go. I didn't want to assume, but I wanted to say
I appreciate it. I didn't know shit.
Yeah. And see, you learned.
100%.
Like, and that's why I feel like a lot of people, when they listen to stuff like this, they're like, yeah. But and it sounds cliche. They might think, oh, yeah, everybody says that, but it's true. And they just don't, it's like it just doesn't click in their mind.
No.
I don't know. Like, what do you think?
I totally agree, man. Like people like to get hyped up on motivation and like hyped up. Like hopefully there's people that are going to watch this and get like really jazzed about like starting something. But it's like, unless you break down those limiting beliefs or unless you have like some sort of like pain to like spur you out of that moment,
Yep.
like whether it's financial pain or like whatever. I mean, COVID hopefully spurred a lot of people to actually take action and start a business. Like, I think it did, right? Because like their back was against the wall. But otherwise, like in these like comfort, you're just on the fucking couch. You're loving it. You live at home if you're young.
Yep.
You got no reason to start this thing, right? You're just going to talk about it for a while. But really all you want to do is like go to that party and like chill and whatever. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I think, okay, Sam, let's wrap it up. Give people a quick snap of like, if you could say anything to spur someone out of their comfort-fueled bliss, and then tell everybody where they can find you and where they can follow you on social.
All right, yeah, thanks. Okay, let's wrap it up. The final punch. All right, these are the steps you're going to take if you want to start a business, okay? I'm gonna give them the steps here.
Yeah, lay it on them, man.
You're going to figure out what you want to do. What industry is that in? Is it car detailing? Is it marketing? Is it film? Is it coffee? Okay, whatever it is, you're going to figure out what industry that is in. Then you're going to write down the steps you're going to take in intricate detail, okay? You're going to write down, okay, I'm going to go to the store and I'm going to get this equipment. I need to get somehow $500 so I can buy it. I somehow need to do this. Then, after you write out all those steps, you're going to write out a little thing on your note. It could be on your iPhone on your notes, okay? You're going to write out, this is what's going to happen, and you're going to formulate it like this. Your name, Samuel Miele, right, will get $500 by a certain date. I will do this by blank, every single day reading or reading 15 pages a day, or saying this to myself every single day, going on a run every single day because I want to get jacked. I will do this by, and then you're going to say, I will not let my mind extinguish my desire to pursue this goal. And you are going to sit in your car, somewhere where nobody can hear you because it's actually embarrassing, and it feels weird when you do it yourself. You're going to read that to yourself in absolute pronunciation. You're going to be like, I, Samuel Miele, will do this by this date. That's what I do. And you're going to yell it in the car, and you're going to say it 10 times every single day. And then eventually you'll find, okay, I'm more motivated. My confidence is built up. I'm going to start doing this. There you go. And then you'll figure out yourself where to go from there. That's it.
Love it. Okay.
Follow me.
Yeah, where can we find you? Yeah.
So my personal, Samuel.Miele, Miele. Just started a new business. So follow that. It's Vision.Luxx. Or no dot. Vision Luxx, Luxx. No caps, no spaces on Instagram.
That's it.
Yeah.
Beautiful. The shameless self-promotion at the end. Okay, Sam, thank you so much for taking the time and doing this, man.
Thanks. I absolutely loved it. Thanks, man.